Hello and welcome to TransTastic Reviews. I am your host, Justine Ashley Yates, and I shall be giving you my honest opinion of the movies that I have watched at the cinema. This week I shall be reviewing the new Blair Witch movie and Don't Breathe. So please, turn up your volume, buckle yourself in, because these are my no-holds barred reviews. I remember back in 1999 seeing a poster on a trip to a cinema in Liverpool for a movie that hadn't been advertised on television. The fact that this movie hadn't been hyped up here in the UK intrigued me, and I took my brother to see it. I fully enjoyed the film and came away with my mind blown, and my hope for a move away from the typical hack and slash type of horror movies that were commonplace at that time, and back to a classic sort of feel for horror movies to return. That movie was the now famous original Blair Witch movie. I had and still have a great fondness for that film, and I hoped that somehow, some way, there would be a sequel. Years went by, and there was a sort of movie that dared to use the Blair Witch name, but just didn't ever feel like a natural successor to the original movie, and so we never discussed it among fans of the first film. Sure, we got some computer games which felt like prequels, and I feel were very good in their own right, but as I said, we never got a true sequel to the first Blair Witch movie. When I was at the cinema last week, I saw a trailer for a movie that reminded me very much of how the Blair Witch movie looked. Imagine my surprise when I saw that there was indeed a new Blair Witch movie. This was a return to the classic found footage feel that has now become commonplace in the horror genre today. The trailer looked like a natural successor to the movie I had enjoyed. Could it be that this new movie wouldn't be just another cash-in on the Blair Witch name? I just had to see it so I'd be able to bring you a review and see if it was as captivating as the original. So enough backstory. Here are my thoughts on what I saw. If you have seen the original movie, then telling you where the characters end up would be like telling you that the ship sinks in the movie The Titanic. Even going in, I knew where the movie was going to end, and it is even alluded to at the start of the movie, so no surprises there. The movie was always going to be about the journey getting to the final destination. Could such a journey be reenacted and still be as terrifying? I am happy to report for the most part it was. Sure, gone was the dull half hour from the original where the main cast interviewed some of the locals, but there was a noticeable build-up of suspense, and the only locals featured in this new version were a young couple who joined the main cast on their trip into the woods, and you truly do feel the fear as you journey deeper into the woods with them. Sadly, however, some of the scenes are clearly staged and didn't come across as feeling as natural as the original film did, and this bugged me in quite a few places when it happened in the movie. However, the fact is, I did come out of the cinema feeling afraid, and that is what a horror movie should succeed in doing, playing with the audience's fears as opposed to trying to gross them out. So all in all, I gave 4 butterflies out of 5 for this true sequel to the original Blair Witch movie. This should always be considered Blair Witch 2 for future reference. Let's forget the whole Book of Shadows fiasco. The only reason that I didn't feel I could give this movie a full 5 butterfly rating is due to the bits I mentioned earlier that I felt were staged. But other than that, I loved watching this. Will no doubt buy this when it comes out on Blu-ray. I now feel confident that Eddie Kedward's fun is yet to be stopped. Our next movie for this week is Don't Breathe, a movie I knew next to nothing about going into the cinema. Trust me, forget the trailers you may have seen. Although loosely based on the movie in many ways, they don't truly represent what you get to see. So let's first examine the plot. 3 teenagers think it may be a fun idea to rob an old blind army veteran, so instinctively you want to root for the army vet. However, this movie has so many twists and turns, you will soon find yourselves wishing the trio had never entered the house in the first place. Now, when I speak of twists and turns, I don't mean the sort at which you sure can think to yourself, "Oh, that's interesting." Oh no, these twists are so deeply psychologically rooted, you will find yourself screaming, "What the actual fuck?" I wish I could tell you so much more about this movie, but I fear doing so I might ruin it for you. Heck, even the opening scene will mislead you into believing the movie will end in one way, and then it slaps you on the back of the head and ends in a completely different manner. Sadly, however, for me, it was the opening scene that spoiled it ever so slightly for me and kept bugging me throughout the movie. And so, to be fair, no matter how much I enjoyed this movie as well, I have to give it a 4 out of 5 butterflies, but that is the only thing that bugged me. Be sure to try and watch this one as well when you get the chance. So are the two movies which would I recommend for you to watch come Halloween. It's a tough call and really depends on what you are seeking. If you want a film that feels like something deeply set in an already rich folklore, then I recommend Blair Witch. If you want something more of a psychological thriller, then Don't Breathe. However, I highly recommend them both. Okay, that's it for this week. Next week I shall be reviewing Kubo and the Two Strings and Sausage Party. Hope you will be sure to tune in then.